few months ago, I released a video talking about how Jandel changed Roblox. And back then, I wasn't exaggerating at all. It was simply just the truth. He was everywhere. His games were on the front page constantly, his name was being discussed by every Roblox player ever, and whether you played his games or not, you knew who this guy was. He had become one of the few developers who didn't just make successful projects, he dominated the platform for an entire year straight up. But today, if you go ahead and search the top trending games in Roblox, both Jandel's top playing games Grow a Garden and Plants vs Brainrots are almost nowhere to be seen. And in this video, I'll be covering some of the craziest inside details regarding Jandel that you probably have not even discovered yet. This includes his secret formula that made him reach the top, the evil methods he used, and even something far worse than anything you've ever seen. So make sure to watch till the end, as I promise you it's definitely worth it. So first and foremost, if you still didn't know who Jandel was, he started off as a simple developer who blew up from literal passion projects. At his beginning as a developer, he created a dusty trip, which to people during that time was extremely unique and original since there weren't many cool Roblox games at the time. This simple concept later inspired games like Dead Rails and a bunch more to come. Personally, I feel like 99 Nights in the Forest is also one of the games that came from a dusty trip in a way. But what may sound genuine from Jandel right now, later exposes him for something that nobody could have predicted. Obviously, Jandel also made games like Wacky Wizards or even a lower quality of Bed Wars, but these games weren't close to the main thing. The part where he absolutely became recognized by the whole world was when Grow a Garden came into action. This game can only be described by one word: crazy. People who never played Roblox knew this game in a way, and it even surpassed the entire platform alongside other gaming companies in player counts like Steam, for example.
It is official, Roblox's Grow a Garden is now the biggest game in the world, and we can confidently say that because they have broken the all-time record for most concurrent players of all games of all time. The previous record was held by Fortnite with over 14 million players. However, Grow a Garden has shattered that record with 16 million players. And it's even crazier because there is no evidence that Grow a Garden has been botting their numbers, meaning that these are all real people.
Nobody knew what was going on, but Jandel had everything under control. He pushed updates after updates, admin abuses later on entered the game, and skyrocketed its player count into a point where it's just insane. The fact that this dude won a literal Bloxy award out of everyone possible in the platform just proves to you that anyone could achieve their dreams if they put their heart into it. Wait, no, something was wrong. Something was terribly wrong. Jandel didn't rise to this level by himself. There was something much deeper than this. Well, you see, there was a weird pattern that kept on happening with Jandel's games. People at first didn't know what was going on, but as time went by, some people have noticed Jandel doing something not any developer would do. To begin with, Roblox games always goes up and down in terms of their player counts and trends, but occasionally you come across a game so addictive, it takes a really long period before people fully quit. That sort of game shall be called the anomaly, and Jandel is a mastermind of finding these hidden gems. People collectively commented that Jandel don't actually own any of his games, but he actually buys it and continues the updates with a whole team behind him. Grow a Garden, Plants vs Brainrots, and nearly every game that you've known that are under Jandel was bought into his hands. So when people call Jandel a talented developer, let's be honest, it's all a lie. And you might question what's wrong with buying the games. He still helps the game and developers in a way, right? That's correct in some way, but not when you take Dobig Studios into the picture. It's not exactly clear on how Jandel truly works with Dobig, but every game Jandel touched so far, you can notice a shift in the Game Pass section. There's more pay-to-win mechanics and worse updates that comes along with it. It's safe to say that every game Jandel touches, the game is basically ruined in a way. And the fact that everything links back to these evil Dobig Studios makes a lot of sense, because Dobig Studios has always had this reputation for being, let's say, mildly allergic to passion projects and aggressively in love with squeezing profit. Their whole model is basically buying games, remodeling them, and blowing them up. That would be cool if they didn't also leave behind a trail of dead games like Blade Ball or Fish. So when Jandel connected with them, people were kinda skeptical, but no one expected them to go so deep into destroying Roblox itself. Another thing I'd like to point out is that Jandel's downfall has led to a huge amount of players stalking him. I know it sounds weird for context, but hear me out. Since Jandel was once known as the biggest developer in the world, it's normal that when he falls off so badly like that, people would be curious about what he's up to. And oh boy, it could not get any worse. After the death of both his top games, Grow a Garden and Plants vs Brainrots, he became down bad. His first move was to create a new game in hopes of dominating the platform again. That game was Slap Duels, but instead of showing his name saying that he made the game, he remained silent. Jandel secretly promoted the games through other sources, but people eventually still caught onto him since his name was directly under the ownership of Slap Duels. You might ask what's so bad about this new game of his? Well, let's just say it's another copy, and this time it's a mix of slap battles and rivals in a way. There was almost no originality in the game except some few game UI system. To be honest, I was seriously disappointed after seeing what Jandel did, and right when I thought things couldn't get any worse, it did. Welcome to Knockout Soccer. If you didn't know, recently there's a game called Penguin Knockout that became super omega viral out of nowhere. It reached the top of the trending games in a matter of literal days. People played it because it was simple, and obviously some players were really tired of brain rots, and it was the perfect game to clear your mind. In a way, it reminded me of epic minigames, where it's just a casual and enjoyable experience for literally any age. Jandel looked through this game and decided, oh, so these types of games work? And immediately launched his own knockoff version of it. Which, not gonna lie, I don't even think it's that bad. You basically play as a soccer player and try to hit the ball into the goal instead of knocking people off. In a way, it has its own ideas, but the game projectiles and arrow power alongside the concept is exactly the same. But considering this is the very same developer who once became the king of Roblox, now stealing other ideas and getting so little player counts just doesn't click. I mean, when Jandel released this, Shorts creators went on to laugh at Jandel. At that moment, I felt like this guy had completely lost it.
Jandel just released a new game on Roblox and people are angry about it because this is his new game where you need to look at a direction and then use the power to score the goal. And people are mad because this game is quite similar to the game Knockout.
From that point on, Jandel's popularity didn't just disappear all of a sudden, and people even call him the most hated developer in the world, which I personally think sounds exaggerated, but still, it's extreme that he fell off to such levels. And don't even get me to brainrot C's Jandel made. You'd think combining an MMORPG vibe with the brainrot trend would do numbers, especially with a guy who had 3 mega hits behind him, but nope. It barely scratched a few thousand players compared to the millions his older titles had. And because fans were already sensitive about him trend chasing and not being original anymore, they immediately labeled the game as a lazy copy of Blox Fruits and other brainrot style games. And when I try searching the game itself, I don't see it anymore, so it's safe to say that even Jandel himself thought it was a terrible idea. Before all this, Jandel rose to his game all because of one word: community. He brainwashed the entire Roblox community by blasting admin abuses on his games to hope that people would love him forever. But now that things had completely turned around, you know it's cooked. The very community he tried holding on completely betrayed him because after that, everything Jandel touched started getting framed under the same narrative. He's greedy, he's washed, he only cares about money, he's buying games just to milk them dry. Even if that wasn't fully true, perception became reality again. Everything goes down for him. Dying games, failed launches, players angry at Do Big Studios, the downfall of Grow a Garden, and the trend-chasing accusations piling up. It got so bad that Jandel basically had to fade out of the internet spotlight. His socials went quiet except for occasional apology videos or explanations about drama. He stopped being the giant mascot in his own games. And then, the final nail in the coffin. He stepped away entirely from Grow a Garden's control. That was basically the end of an era. The owner of Grow a Garden wasn't even him anymore. He basically gave someone else the ownership while he claimed that he wanted to focus on other projects. And not gonna lie, every project failed miserably. But here's the thing, and this is the part nobody really wants to admit, it's complicated. Being a Roblox developer is messy. You're expected to be original, profitable, innovative, trend-aware, community-focused, and constantly producing something new, all at the same time. And that's not realistic. People want devs to make passion projects, but also expect them to run massive, expensive teams. They want new content weekly, but also want everything to be perfect. It's a lose-lose situation if you're in the spotlight. And for all the greedy dev memes, Jandel did make genuinely iconic stuff. Dusty Trip, Grow a Garden, these weren't boring cash grabs at their peak. They genuinely had some originality in it. The problem was that the expectations got so high that the moment he dropped anything that wasn't changing Roblox or anything, everyone acted like he was the worst person alive. Honestly, I don't think he deserves the level of hate he gets. Criticism, for sure. Some decisions were straight up questionable, but hate, nah. The dude is just trying his best as a developer, and you might call him a money-hungry dev or whatever. At the end, everyone is just a human and wants to make a living. But what do you think? If you guys genuinely enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.